this girl that I'm friends with is really into this new aged bigotry called astrology. Because that's all astrology is, really, if you think about it. It's just generalizations. She went out with this guy and she said, you know, I don't understand. We went out and we had a really nice time, and he said he was going to call and he didn't. He just lied. He's just a liar. He's such a Gemini. And I was like, okay, I'll play along. What does that have to do with it? And she looked at me like I was nuts. She was like, Gemini? Sign of the twin. They're two-faced and they're liars. And I was like, yeah, there's a nice little stereotype for you. You know, that's just what we need, because humans haven't just made up enough reasons to hate one another. No, along with race, nationality, gender, sexual preference, religious or cultural differences, now, just if you're born in June, you're a dick. I was dating this girl very briefly, and we were having kind of a relationship talk, and I told her that the only thing that bothers me in a relationship is cheating, and she said, well, what do you consider cheating to be? And I said, well, basically, asking that question. I've never cheated on a girlfriend, and I don't think I ever will, and it's mostly because I never derive as much pleasure from sex as I do from playing the role of moral superior. She can have the sex, as long as I get to make the condescending speeches. Yeah, I guess I should have expected as much. Involving myself with a person like you. For me, sex is never as good as that tone. That is sex. I have a cape that I wear. A top hat. I saw something that made me pretty nervous in the Bible. It was the part where they say that the meek shall inherit the earth. Because I think I speak for meek people everywhere when I say that we probably won't be able to handle that. One group that I always try to avoid are vampires, and not the old like Count Dracula, Bela Lugosi vampire. It was the vampire that you started to see around in the '90s that I was afraid of, like the Anne Rice, John Carpenter's hip, trendy, Euro, bi-curious vampire. It was all the homosexual innuendo that scared me, because for a guy who's not completely secure in his own sexuality, you really want to try to steer clear of the seductive gay demons. Because that's a tough way to get outed. And you know that the worst part would be for all your gossipy friends back home, the gay part's all they need to be interested in. You'd be like, hey, did you hear about James? Yeah, he's a vampire. No, not that. Here's a little wilderness survival tip for women. Ladies, have you ever stranded on a desert island? With me? Or with any guy. The trick is, you want to just have sex with us right away. It's a good rule of thumb because, you see, the desert island scenario is such a big part of the male sexual fantasy universe that until we get laid, we're not even trying to get off the island. There's no way we can make it back to civilization and face our friends with, no, we just talked. I guess in what we'll call the long and grand tradition of sex offenders, it appears that in his house, Michael Jackson had a secret room. And as a rule, I don't care for pedophiles. But I love secret rooms. To the point that I decided I'm going to have a secret room someday in my house, and I'm going to fill it with really weird, perverted things that just never quite reach the level of illegal. So when the cops raid my secret room, they're going to find pornography and sex toys, and in the back on the wall, there's going to be a shrine full of pictures of a little boy, but the little boy's going to be me. Have a good afternoon, officers. I win again. I was going out with a girl for 4 years, and her name was Julie. And we broke up, and just soon after, just by pure coincidence, I started dating another girl named Julie, which women tend to think is kind of weird, and men tend to think is kind of convenient. I was just happy that after 4 years, I didn't have to worry about slipping and calling her the wrong name, especially in bed. Or at least I thought I didn't have to worry about that until the night I called out her name, Julie. But she believed that based on my tone, I had actually been thinking about the previous Julie. And that's an argument you just can't win. So Julie, too, came up with a fairly psychotic solution to this problem. I swear on my life, from that point on, while having sex, we had to use last names. And as awkward as, oh, Julie Kestenbaum, or Julie Kestenbaum, please don't stop, Julie Kestenbaum, sounds, you get used to it. I just found out that the girl that I used to date in high school decided to become a nun. And back then, she used to always talk about wanting to get married. So when I saw her, I asked her about it. And she said that that wasn't her path anymore, because now she's married to Jesus. Which is creepy. You know, with the age difference. What could they have in common? When she was in kindergarten, he was 1980. I've heard it said that both the happiest and saddest day in a man's life is the first time he beats his father at something. And when I was 16, I experienced that for the first time. I beat my father at golf. We were walking off the 18th green, and we both got hit with this really weird feeling. Like, he was looking at me like I was entering a new phase in my life, like I was becoming a man. And he was really proud, but at the same time, he also kind of felt an eerie sense of his own mortality. And I got hit with the really normal but awful guilt for having cheated. My father and I are idiotically competitive. We always had, ever since I was a little kid, he would always try to one-up me, and now he's an older guy, and I'm still trying to one-up him. And it hit its crescendo about a year ago. I had a vacation coming, and I decided to go to Vietnam, just so he can't throw that in my face anymore.